it's something that we can't really forget about, and if nothing else helps, that we should try to evaluate our surroundings. What is our usage of cell phones, Bluetooth?
Yes.
There's tons of different devices nowadays. That's very smart, very convenient, but they radiate a lot of energies. And so I got some meters. I started a little company. I have helped people evaluate their house's properties for different types of EMFs, radio frequencies, magnetic fields, and try to kind of tie it together and see what what does the picture look like, what can we
Yeah.
do about it, how can we mitigate, and I also, in addition to the man-made frequency or the radiation, I'm also interested in looking for the natural impacts of the Earth magnetic fields called geopathic stress, which is basically working with dowsing rods or pendulums to try to pinpoint where in the house or or on your property we have those fields of
Yes.
disturbances. So that's kind of out there, but I'm very fascinating about it, and I've done some work on it, and I would like to have time to do more of that study.
I think that's amazing. And, I'm almost tempted to ask you, like, what's the most startling energetic discovery you found? I will ask you, what's the most startling energy discovery you found in people's homes? Because what we're going to be talking about is a way maybe to buffer some of that disruption through these millimeter waves. But when you're going into a home, you're looking at all of this EMF, you're looking at all of these out. Was there a number where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's this high, or something that surprised you about how people are living that they may not even realize?
Yeah, I did a study in my neighborhood where I lived before. The city wanted to erect a cell phone tower down by the beach to improve the cell phone coverage on the beach, and also, of course, is tempting to put up AT&T, other carriers that they like to use those towers to add coverage, of course. So the neighbor was against it, and they contacted me, and I canvassed the area before they put up the towers. And to compare, I had another neighborhood like 3 miles down the road. I worked there in a company just next to those towers. There were two towers that's close together, and they were just packed with cell phone antennas. And 300 yards from them is a elementary school. There is also a lot of houses, duplexes, people live and people rent, and also a bunch of businesses, smaller businesses. And so I have that as a comparison to see what we were at, and maybe also predict what we might face in the future when this new tower was up, and then added the cell phone antennas on that one. So yeah, that was a really eye-opener for me. Those two towers blasted quite a bit of EMF or radio frequencies. So that's a good case study. And I think that the most that really got my jaw to hit the floor was that when I took my meter with me on a trip, and I changed planes in Chicago O'Hare.
Okay.
And I just put it up there and kind of walked around, sweeping the meter and just checking out the readings. And I came to one spot. People that have been in Chicago O'Hare and changed planes probably knew the place. It's right where they have this huge dinosaur skeleton on display. I think it's concourse B or C. We're in transition there. But I mean, my EMF meter basically bottomed out. It was like standing in a microwave oven, and I don't know why it is that high or where the EMF is coming from, but there's tons of people working there for Starbucks and Oakley has a little store there, and I mean there's a lot of people that spend full working days there in that environment, and that was scary. I never come across anything that high, either before or after, but yeah. So, but again, nobody knows anything. Nobody, it doesn't smell. It doesn't, no
Yes.
sound, nothing. It's you have to have those fairly advanced instruments to be able to detect it.
Yeah, it's kind of like this silent epidemic. We can't, like you said, we can't smell it, we can't know it, but some of us can feel it.
Yeah.
And we know that our body has communication in the form of millimeter waves between organs, cells, this very delicate energetic exchange that's happening, very subtle. I want to give you screen access because I know you've got some very interesting discoveries you want to share about millimeter waves and some of that energy. So let me see if I can do that little housekeeping first. Let me see if I will make you a co-host there. Let's see. And then I can let you share your screen. So as you do that, looks like, yep. Let me know if you get that.
Okay,
And
let's see here. I should share there we go. I just need a PowerPoint presentation. Share.
we've got people writing in. Liz says, yeah, 5G really scares me. I do wonder about 6G and 7G. Judith says it causes a lot of pain and tiredness. I kind of agree. I want to do this real quick. Like throughout the presentation, if y'all can see me, I'm holding this little millimeter wave device and it's called the BioTrEM. And so I've been keeping this on my body. It's amazing the calm you start to feel. So just going to hold the intention just from our kind of etheric space that you guys all just feel a little bit of calm, that nothing that we say today startles you. I don't want to scare people. I don't want you to worry. I want you to maybe just have more faith in your body's own natural communication ability and just know that consciousness always has a solution, or consciousness always has an answer to whatever imbalance is going on in the world. And this is true in our life, in our bodies, it's true in everything. Send some of this good energy, balancing energy. Breath. So reground in, relax that vagus nerve. Okay. now, yeah. What have you got for us? What are some of these interesting things?
Okay, can you see my screen? I have a PowerPoint presentation up here.
Sure can. Yeah.
All right. So just a little bit background. I teamed up with Boris here probably about 4 months ago, and he wanted someone that can, help him with English running this presentation. So we have a mutual friend. She's a light worker, a healer, and a very amazing woman. And she had interviewed Boris multiple times. So she reached out to me because I live in Michigan, and she know I should be able to handle this translation and presentation, and I happily agreed. So Boris and I have been talking back and forth a little bit here. I also have this little device. It was nice to me. Boris sent it to me here, so we've been using it for about 4 weeks now. Both me and my wife and our little dog Bella. She's suffering from this disease. We start with a C and ends with answer, and so we are very happy to be able to try this device on her with a homeopathic program. We're going to mention that a little bit later in the presentation. So, we can notice that the dog is, she recognized something is going on. So if she sleeps down by my feet in my bed, start this little device, she kind of crawls up, want to be close to it. So she can feel that something is going on. When I put it on her tummy, she, with a homeopathic program, she calms down, and she's liking it. We have also used other remote energy healing sessions. I have a woman in Sweden that I know, and she's having a fairly like a desktop energy healer machine that she can she can balance frequencies in anyone, dogs or animals or humans. So we tried that 3 times on Bella as well over the last 6 months. So and whatever is growing on her tummy is receding, and we also do some alternative medicine with fenbendazole, CBD oil, and curcumin. I don't know which one works best, but in this case, we don't really have the time or the luxury to try one at a time. We just hit it with everything we can find, and
Yes.
so far it's the growth is residing. So that's a positive sign.
Well, big prayers for Bella, and I know
Yeah.
everybody here sends love. Sends love. Yeah.
Yeah, pets are really in the crosshairs too when it comes to disease and trouble in this world as well. So not just us, but and a good thing with animals that they don't have any preconceptions. I mean that they don't have the whatever you send them, whatever you do with them, that they just take it in and run with it. They don't have any, that they don't reject it or they don't crave it. It's just so it's interesting to work with Bella and see what we can do.
Love it. I love it.
Yep. Okay. Should we get going?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Okay. So I have the pleasure here to present this PowerPoint presentation about this green little device. The name is BioTrEM Universal. It's the latest in a series of machines or devices that Boris has presented here over the years. It doesn't mean that if you bought the previous machines that they are obsolete or anything. That they still work as well as they ever did, but technology is advancing, and everybody's trying to develop further and have better devices and more healing modalities, etc. So this BioTrEM has some specifics and unique features that this one, it's that's why they launched it. So having that in mind, we're going to go in and I'm going to give you the presentation. Again, feel free to interrupt me with questions, and if I can't answer myself, I do so. Otherwise, I'll call on Boris and I'll translate to him, and he can respond back. All right.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Okay. So everyone here is, I think, is pretty much on board that we are not just and only a physical structure or physical being, but we also have a lot of, the baseline for us as humans and mammals on this planet is also the vibrational energy and the information structure that's behind everything. So we see this physical body that some people think is all there is, but there is actually much more if you scratch the surface, so to speak. So by knowing that and by developing these devices, then new possibilities open up for healing and optimization of the body. So you understand that every biochemical structure also has separate vibrations, and also vibrations that we can improve structure and not just balancing the physical body. There's a lot of processes going on inside the body. It's hormones and all the systems that we have. We have the nervous system, immune system, and all the organs and their systems as well. So by knowing how these organs operates, and we can also then find ways to correct any imbalances and improve in general terms, or maybe even specific terms that we're going to see later. So this is how these devices, the previous devices and the BioTrEM works. There's something called the Arndt-Schulz biochemical law. It states that the super weak signals can produce greater results than if we work with strong signals, because the too big signals could actually cause damage on the body or organs. So that's why we try to find treatments or so in the lower strength spectra. So the graph here, I'm just going to explain quickly. So on the vertical axle that goes straight up, it says therapeutic response of the system. So the system could be the whole body, or it could be your kidneys, or it could be nervous system, whatever you're focusing on to repair or improve. And then on the horizontal axis, going left to right, it says strength of treatment signal. So this graph here, it looks like a bathtub, basically. So we have it start kind of low, and then we goes up in a quite a bit of a peak. That means that we have a very low, relatively low strength of signal, but the organ or the body responds very well. So we have this big peak at the left there. Then when we increase our strength signal, then the therapeutic response goes down and kind of flattens out, and then it starts to rise up again when the signal strength is going to be more extreme. And then we have the other side of the bathtub there to the right, it says damages. So human resources with the company here, with Boris works with, only work with the weakest signals, which is the same as the body's own signal strength. So nothing here that when we do our treatment is harmful for the body, because it's on the weak side, so intentionally, because we want to have that strong therapeutic response. And I think this is similar to, or maybe the same as, the homeopathic theory.
Yes.
So
yes.
if you have something, you dilute it down to just next to nothing, you got really, really strong responses. So it seemed to me that this is similar things that we are doing here but with millimeter waves.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we can say that we have like a piano that is out of tune, and so how to bring it back into tuning again, which is then it sounds nice and soft, and you can play all your music and the melodies, and it sounds awesome. We are using or the piano tuner is using a tuning fork. So with a tuning fork and some tools, he will then be able to change the strings in the piano, so everything resonates according to the scale, and that's how we tune the instrument. We can tune any other instrument similarly, but the piano is good energy here. And this is exactly what we do with the BioTrEM products and these methods. So we don't force anything that is over activating the body. We're restoring the body into its original shape, which is then when everything comes in balance, we call it is in resonance.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the soft spot that the spot that we want to end up.
Yeah, I like that. It's not about forcing the body, because I think like we're actually overactivated, overstimulated already. So if everyone can understand, I mean, I even asked you about the waves, and you're like, they're so subtle, they're so soft, sort of at a different wavelength, that it may not even be picked up, because that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to like blast the body. We're here to get it to softly get back into resonance. So I find that to be very, very interesting.
Yeah. And just returning quickly here to this curve here. So as we said early on here when we talked about radiation and cell phones and whatnot, that they are operating in this area here. So they have very strength, where the very high strength
up here, maybe
signal.
Up here.
Yeah. So
way high.
So my work is basically trying to mitigate the damages here by finding out different ways to kind of bring the signal strength down to hopefully down here where we don't have that much of a deleterious impact on body and organs. But so yeah, cell phones and routers and Bluetooth, and typically is working up in the damaging area of the energy fields. Okay. All right. So the BioTrEM Universal is a millimeter wave range generator. So this little device, even though it's is only 3 inches by 2 inches and maybe ½ inch thick, is very advanced. It works on differently from other generators in the millimeter wave range. So it can sense the body's electromagnetic signals and send them back. It's like a feedback loop. So it picks it up initially, and then it sends it back again to the organs or to the cells in a way, to help it heal. And thanks to this sensitive technology here, this happened in real time. So give it exactly this, each cell what they need energetically, and to aid it to come back and recover, which means that we are kind of tuning the piano so we get back in resonance. The unique thing with this BioTrEM Universal generator is that it uses germanium silicon semiconductors, which have a possibility to achieve extremely fast charge transfers, and also this special memory effect. So we're going to describe that a little bit later here. So, and it also have a recording function. And that will be helpful later on when we're talking about structuring water and to get the energies inside another medium that we then can consume by drinking it. That will also, enhance the healing process. So when the BioTrEM generator is switched off, it stores the information about the electromagnetic fields in the environment in its crystals or these semiconductors, and it could re-emit these in with a low intensity in the background mode. So it creates information copy of the object and of the generator that has been in contact with. So it makes it possible then to use the background generation to radiation to transfer and restore information. So again, we are down on the left-hand side of that bathtub curve, working with very low, energies or effects, So, but we still got a good response from the body. Okay, so all right, so this is another unique thing with this BioTrEM Universal generator. So it has a program that is very versatile, and one of the things that they claim here is that they have we can actually have it in with a healing effect up to 10 feet or 3 meters. So we can actually use it as a group therapy, or you can have it, you don't need to have it in contact with the body. You can have it within arm's length, and you still will, have a healing effect or a positive effect from this device.
Wow. I'll let you keep. I got a lot of questions, but I'll let you keep going because it's getting more and more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, this is great.
All right.
Oh, And let me know as y'all, we got different questions coming in. We'll get them at the very end, but yeah, let's keep going. It's very interesting.
Okay. All right. So anyway, so this generator sends out very weak signals, as we said, resonate with the cell membranes. So this device is trying to target the membranes of the cells, so the surface of the cells, which are crucial for good health, because the membranes are allowing nutrients and oxygen to enter, and also the waste products from the cell to leave. And if the cell membrane don't work properly, that could lead to many problems. So it doesn't matter how well you eat or what supplements you take to try to achieve health. If the nutrients don't reach the cell or the waste product don't leave the cell, you won't really have full benefits of the supplements and the nutrition that you try to boost. So the BioTrEM Universal acts now like a tuning fork for the cell membrane. So the picture here is that the first cell is kind of damaged and don't really operate at the full capacity. But being exposed to the millimeter waves from this generator, it could repair and slim out, make the membrane more permeable, and then of course the cell will feel better and be more functional the way we want it to function.
Yeah, and one of the things I found very interesting about this is the waste products leaving the cell. A lot of people don't always think about that. They think about things entering the cell, like nutrients, but it's equally important that those cells can release the waste products so that the cells can stay healthy. So that's it's a two-way street, and very important, especially these days with so much toxin that we're consuming in our food and our air, etc.
Yeah, they're hitting us from all sides, so it's not easy to stay healthy these days. Okay, so here we see a cell membrane. I know that the picture is a little cluttery, and I won't go into the biochemistry that takes place inside the cell. I think we all pretty much have a good feel for what happens inside there with the ATP building, etc. But as we age, we get older.